Chapter 4. Life as a Teenager. We had stayed in London for 3 years. It was the summer of 1991. My dad had asked us if we wanted to go to America, and we said yes because we had longed to be with our mother, who had been in America for a total of 6 years. I remember she visited us once in Nigeria and visited us once or twice in London, but I never understood why she stayed in America for so long. It was in America I discovered she was there going to school. In the United States, I went to a Catholic school as I did in London. The name of my school was Sacred Heart Elementary School. My friends were in all age groups, from pre-kindergarten to the 8th grade. We went regularly to the Catholic Church, Sacred Heart Catholic Church. It was less than 3 blocks away. My brother oftentimes served as an altar boy to the priest. Although my mother had several jobs, on her day off, she would take us to church on Sunday. I started reading my mother's Bible and knew several Bible verses by memory. The few times when I spoke about particular things in the Bible, I saw changes in my siblings. Arguments dissipated and bad habits brought about shame. I lived in Washington, D.C. on Newton Street. My school was in the area, and so also was the Giant. At the Giant, I bought a book about angels. This book was about healing angels, angels that prevented people from experiencing great catastrophes such as car accidents and the like. I read lots of testimonies from people who had a lot of things to say about God's holy angels. You know, the ones that serve Him day and night, worship Him, and enjoy doing things and enjoy doing His will. Well, on one occasion, I was crossing my street and I saw a car coming. I waited for it to move, but it was moving in slow motion, as if the driver saw me at the angle of their eye. I seized the moment and to cross the street. As I crossed the street, I smelled a beautiful fragrance and recalled reading from my book of angels about angels on a healing mission, and how the person who gave that testimony said, "It's like fresh pine trees." This smell was not your ordinary pine tree smell. It was such a beautiful fragrance, one I have never smelled before in the world and had ever encountered before. I went to the bathroom to have quiet time with God. As I looked up to the ceiling, I told Him, "God, I believe You exist, and I believe Your angels exist, but I don't know if Jesus exists." Suddenly, I felt an immense feeling of love that engulfed my entire being. I looked out of my bedroom window and saw that I didn't live until I had realized that Jesus was, in fact, a real person. I had an experience that was intangible. A lot of times, people have miracles, visible miracles, things they could test and check out at the doctor, and a doctor will tell them they were once sick or had cancer in this part or that part of the body, but look at the results, there's nothing there. But my miracle was something that was invisible to the human eye. It was something I felt, a special conviction that Jesus Christ is real, and it took reading the Bible, reading about angels, reading about the many testimonies of people who had heavenly visitations from God's angels, and the experience I encountered, which I know now to be from the Holy Spirit, who was in His way informing me that Jesus Christ is real, which became the turning point in my life at the age of 14. The testimony of God's Spirit allowed me to accept Jesus Christ as somebody to be a real person. Years later, as an adult, I had dreams with Jesus and visitations from Him and signs that He is in my life, and He is a vibrant presence in the lives of those who choose Him as a person to believe in, as a person to pray to, as a person to trust and confide in, and I found Him to be true. But my journey was a bumpy one, because many times throughout my life I had doubts of His existence, but it was the many countless experiences and dreams I had with Him that reinforced my belief that He is truly alive and not dead. Many can testify about Jesus because He lets Himself to be known to those who seek Him, even to Jews and Muslims alike. He is real to many who have witnessed and seen Him and touched Him and saw Him face to face. The summer of 1994 was a special time for me because I proved to my mother I could excel well in academics to avoid summer school and having to repeat math and English classes. The reward for getting high grades was going to a Washington, D.C. sponsored program held by the city was the Higher Achievement Program, HAP. I made friends easily because they saw me as quiet, shy, and easy to get along with. Most of us were from Catholic schools, while the rest were from public schools. We got along well. Our days were filled with taking art classes, language classes, and many field trips. When I left the Higher Achievement Program and proceeded to go to St. John's College High School, I didn't realize that God had answered my prayer to make amends with a friend I had offended during that summer program. To my surprise, I saw him at St. John's College High School in the ninth grade year. My freshman year in high school was filled with miracles. It was a year God had blessed my parents to make a lot of money financially to support my private school education. My dad had received free fare from a passerby at a train station in Washington, D.C. My teachers were caring towards me, and one would oftentimes hug me in front of the class. When a friend of mine from 8th grade came to visit the school during the summer's open house, she saw me on the honor roll, which was God's doing because I never made honor roll all year long. I had angels around me, and one time felt the presence of one who blocked me from changing my leg position in math class. Although I sat uncomfortable in my seat, it just went to show it was just a way to show me that my being there at the school was strategically planned and permitted by God's will. During the ninth grade year, I went to a different high school. After the ninth grade year, I went to a different high school. My Baptist friends at a different high school ministered to me. I enjoyed being around them and just observing them. There was a calmness, a peace that surrounded them. Although I didn't know it, it was the Holy Spirit bearing witness they were children of God. I knew they had something special within them, about them. It was just a matter of time, years, until I understood what being a Christian was like and how this peace can become part of a person's day to day life.